Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the Algebra 1 concept of writing exponential functions. This is standard A.9D in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 43 of the 2024 released STAAR test. This is a new item type called Equation Editor, and if you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, we will look at our answers together. All right, so we need to first figure out what is going on in this problem, what they're asking, and then the second part is what is going to be the best way to show that answer using that equation editor. So let's start with the problem itself. So we have a company that is currently with 500 employees. The number of employees is expected to grow at a rate of 2% each year. All right, so they give us this exponential function. So we've got a keyword there now. Unfortunately, when we look at our reference materials, I see linear equations and I see quadratic equations, but I don't see anything for exponential equations or exponential functions. So we have to know what that standard form is without even necessarily looking at the reference materials. So our standard form, let's look at that, is going to be y equals a times b to the x. All right, so we have to know that a is just going to be our initial value. So what are we starting with? So think about, a lot of times we'll see exponential functions, and it's going to be about investing money and earning interest. So that initial value is the amount of money that is in your bank account. Your principal is what they call it. So that's how much money the interest is acting on. This b right here is our constant rate. Now, it can be either a growth rate if it's greater than 1. All right, so growth, it's greater than 1. And then it's a decay rate if it's less than 1 but still greater than 0. And then our x right here, typically that's where the x goes, because that is going to be our time. So it's yearly, monthly, daily, but a lot of times it's just going to be yearly. All right, so let's see what they give to us here. We have company currently has 500 employees. So really my two options are A or B. Is that my initial value or my constant rate? Well, look for a percentage for the rate. And so since that doesn't have a percentage, that looks like that's going to be my A. So I can say y equals my initial value. Let's just put 500 right there. Now, my B is going to be this 2% rate. Now, here's the interesting thing about the B. So your B is going to equal 1 plus, and then whatever your rate is. So if it's if it's a decay rate, it's going to end up being less than 1 because you're going to add like a negative 20% or a negative 50% if it declines 50% per year. This is growing, so it's a positive 2. So let's turn that into a decimal. So this is the tricky part. The B needs to be 1.02. Not just 0.02. If it's 0.02, that means it's declining sharply because it's less than 1. So we need that 1.02, and then they give us our time frame right there, x years, which that's typically our exponent. It's going to be that x, that unknown. So that's the correct answer. Now we got to put it in the equation editor. So what we're going to do here, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting, is we're going to put in this 500. And let's go ahead and put in our parentheses here. And this is where it gets interesting, because you have to hit the parentheses. We're going to hit 1.02, but you don't hit the other parentheses again, because if you do, watch, it opens it up again. You don't even need to hit that other parentheses. You see that second parentheses is hidden there, and it's kind of grayed out? All you have to do is just scroll over, and it's going to end up being there. You have to hit this button right there to get the exponent, and then you're going to hit that x, and then that is going to be your answer.